So there's been an increasing interest in the microbiota of the gut, and that's the number of microorganisms living in our bowels. And they all, of course, have a very different function. The composition and function of the microbiome is essential for maintaining a healthy status. Now, the gut microbiota represents the largest number and concentration of microorganisms in the human body, reaching levels of 10 followed by 14 zeros in the colon. Each person harbours between 100 to 150 different species of microorganisms in their gut, and this seems to contribute to our physiology and metabolism. There's an indication of potential bad effects of the microbiota and their changes which are associated with aging. These changes are not sudden, they appear to be gradual in association with later life, and not surprisingly, lifestyle and diet are the most important drivers for those changes, highlighting the need to promote healthy dietary habits in midlife and beyond. In general, enhancement of colonic fermentation by dietary fibre, that insoluble fibre, could be considered as beneficial. This seems to strengthen the intestinal barrier against pathogens, increasing the intestinal mobility and helping to reduce inflammation. Now, you'll have heard of prebiotics and probiotics. Prebiotics are complex carbohydrates which are present in whole grains, fruits and vegetables, or can be produced industrially as supplements. These are not digested and are unabsorbed in the gastrointestinal tract until they get to the colon, where they are fermented by bacteria, and they cause changes in the composition and activity of the intestinal microbiota. Probiotics are microorganisms which are ingested, go through the gastrointestinal tract unchanged in adequate amounts, and confer health benefits to the human host. Now, there's growing interest in the food industry of prebiotics and probiotics. But despite this interest, there's a scarcity of any studies which show any particular impact. We know that we can change the microbiota and the gut bacteria, but there are no real health outcomes associated with those studies as yet. Despite this, there are many proponents of ingestion of these things, but of course, as yet, there's little evidence of effect. There is one exception to where changing the microbiota of the colon can affect human health. Many of you may have heard about Clostridium difficile infections and diarrhea. This is a bacteria which produces a toxin which causes torrential diarrhea and can cause death. Now, this is a complication of antibiotic treatment for people with severe illness. Now, people who have received fecal transplants of bacteria from uninfected people into infected people can recover and maintain benefit when these fecal transplants are done. Resveratrol is abundant in grape skins and seeds. Food sources include wine, berries, and peanuts. This compound has many properties, including activity against inflammation, one of the things we're concerned about in unhealthy aging. It also can cause degeneration of nerve cells and is associated with several types of cancer and aging itself. Because it's generally well tolerated, it's believed to be a promising compound in preventing many diseases, such as diabetes and its complications. Evidence about anti-aging properties, however, are conflicting, and it seems to depend very much upon the type of animal model you use and the age and sex of the species in the model. Some studies show no benefit, and some studies show a benefit. In humans, there's some evidence of benefit in heart function, arthritis, anxiety, and depression. It also appears to increase testosterone levels. Now, if you take a 500 milligram tablet of resveratrol, it's well tolerated, but some adverse events do occur. These are mainly gastrointestinal in terms of diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Now, you might say, well, 500 milligrams is quite a bit. How much, for example, is in an average 5-ounce glass of wine? Well, unfortunately, that's between 0.03 and 1 milligram. So you'd need up to 500 glasses of wine to have just one daily tablet. And that's a problem, of course. Resveratrol isn't very available when you ingest it as a tablet, and we need to do a lot more work on the compound itself.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of OLTV. If you liked what you saw and you want to watch more, like this video and subscribe to the Optimal Living channel right here on YouTube.